I began writing my book, The Art of Urban Survival, almost 15 years ago. And the structure that I chose to write the book in is based on my predictions for the future. You see, I've studied a lot of history, and I recognize the historical cycles and patterns. And based on my study of history, I was able to predict the coming collapse of our society. But not just the collapse of our society, but the stages in which the society will collapse, and provided the information you would need to survive each one of those stages. That was the point of the book. The point of the book was to teach people how to get through what's coming. And I laid the book out in order of the events that will occur as we go into a social decline. The book is divided into three major sections. The first section is called Surviving Predators, and the first chapter of my book deals with psychopaths. I recorded the first chapter and created a video called Defense Against the Psychopath, which went viral about 12 years ago. I think I was one of the first people, one of the first truth tellers to come out and start discussing the importance of knowing about psychopaths since our world seems to be ruled by them. Then I cover anger and aggression. This is what happens when the world starts to decay. People are going to start losing it, and you're going to have to deal with angry people. And so, chapter 2, how to deal with anger and aggression, how to stay calm, how to defuse the situation, how to recognize when people are losing control. These are all things that, well, look what's going on around you right now. With the road rage and the random violence on the streets, people are angry and they start to lose it. So you have to be careful and you have to know how to deal with it. And I've got a chapter on how to deal with it. Then we get to crime and violence. As the economy goes downhill, it's not going to collapse all at once, but we are going to be strangled slowly, little by little, the death of 1,000 cuts. Well, people are going to start turning to crime. And again, look at what's going on around us. So crime and violence and how to prepare for it and how to protect yourself from it. These are common street smart tactics. It's all covered in the chapter on crime and violence prevention. You know, what to do if you're carjacked, what to do if you're kidnapped, what to do with stalkers, what to do if your neighbors are lunatics, how to teach your children to be safe. You know, it's all fine and dandy that we're all prepared and we know what to do in case of a violent attack, but you've got to teach some of this to your children. So I've got a whole chapter, what to teach your kids. It's non-threatening, so you can teach it to like 4-year-olds, but it's just some basic techniques that will keep them safe. Then I go into weapons, commercial weapons, and then improvised weapons. So if you can't get a hold of a shotgun, well, there's a whole bunch of improvised weapons. Plus, if you have no weapons at all, I go into anatomical weapons, how to use your head and elbow and knees. And I provide some basic self-defense techniques with illustrations on how you can protect yourself using these physical and anatomical weapons. I then go into a brief chapter on strategies and tactics, combat strategies, street fighting strategies and tactics, and some self-defense escapes. Is this coming true? Of course it's coming true. Look at what's going on. You better be prepared to defend yourself nowadays because the violence is going to increase. The worse things get, the more violent people are going to become. Then we go into surviving natural disasters. For some reason, maybe it's karma or synchronicity, towards the collapse of every civilization, there seems to be an increase in natural disasters. Well, did I predict that correctly or not? Look at the floods, look at the hurricanes, look at the tornadoes, look at the wildfires. I don't know why this happens, but from reading history, there's always these natural disasters that accompany the end of a civilization. And so the book covers natural disasters, how to prepare for it. So I talk about home emergency kits, bug out bags, medical kits, what to do during a disaster, search and rescue. Somebody in your family goes missing. You better learn how to go and find them and bring them to safety. These are things you would need to know if there is a major national disaster. Then I delve into, guess what? Pandemics and plagues. Well, I guess I called that one right, too. It's not that I'm a prophet. It's just that when you read history and you see how all the civilizations collapsed in the past, this is what happens. You get a lot of psychopaths. You get a lot of crime. Then you get a lot of natural disasters. Then you get disease and pestilence. Always follows the same pattern. And finally, the third section of the book is how to deal with man-made disasters. I talk about blackouts, what to do if there's a blackout, what to do if there's a biological attack or a chemical attack, how to set up a decontamination room in your house or your apartment. And then the next chapter, second to last, is war. Well, here we go, folks. You see it already. War is coming. So there's a chapter on how to prepare for war, what to do if war breaks out, how to survive a war. And then the final chapter is escape and evade. If things really get that bad and everything is kind of wiped out, then the last strategy or the last options you may have is to escape and to evade, meaning to run and hide somewhere safe. So there's a chapter on how to do that. So that's my book, The Art of Urban Survival, in which I lay out, step by step, stage by stage, how our civilization will collapse. But the good news is, I give you information on how to prepare and survive each one of those stages, all the way to the very end, if it comes to that, where you're running through the woods with your backpack. Let's hope it doesn't get that bad, but let's not pretend it might not come to that. So that's my book, and so far, every one of the predictions I made 15 years ago have come true. Thank you for listening. Be sure to check out my website. My book, The Art of Urban Survival, is part of my survival library collection, which includes 320 books on how to survive everything and how to rebuild civilization afterwards. Thank you again, and take care.